Hi, so it's night. Um, 2 days of Pilates and my whole body is crazy sore. I wasn't expecting weight gain when I weighed myself this morning, but I gained like 1.5 kg. Don't know if that's normal or if I messed up. I don't feel like I've messed up my diet though. But I might have miscalculated a lot of stuff maybe. Yep, I have tennis tomorrow. Don't know how I'll do that with a whole body of sore muscles, but let's see. I'm excited about playing tennis again. It's been like, wow, 20 odd years of not playing. I remembered I really used to enjoy it, so I hope that I can get an exercise that will get me out of the door and up early in the morning to move my body and get some sun. Yeah, definitely not productive at all. Other than exercising once a day and kind of semi-controlling my food. I've been feeling crazy tired, sleepy, and just unmotivated. I don't know if that's because I'm still transitioning from being really busy at work and having such a busy work life and no balance, and now I'm suddenly left with life with again no balance. Yeah, I guess what I did learn about myself is, yeah, I mean, okay, I guess that's productive, right? Because I'm using the time to learn about myself. Gotta change my mindset. I am productive. So anyways, what I learned about myself is, I think when I was really busy at work and when I looked at a lot of my friends who came from well-off families and they had the choice to not work and they picked it, right? I think I've always been kind of jealous of them, like, to have the luxury of, not only the luxury of having the choice of not working, but being completely okay with that. And now that I think about it from, less jealous and envious eyes, I think that their full-time job that they prided themselves on was, maintaining their body, looking good, always, going for Pilates class, tennis, stuff like that. So I've got a lot of friends who I refer to as princesses. And when I went to Singapore last week, I was telling my friend about this, and she told me that her son told her something really interesting, which is, "Mommy, it's not very nice to be a princess. They have such hard lives. Cinderella had to be bullied by the step family. Snow White had to, wait for Prince Charming to rescue her while hiding out in a forest, and Rapunzel had to be locked up in the tower, and, God knows what." Shouldn't have used God's name in vain. I'm sorry, God. But yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, my friends who, let's just say, for the sake of it, are my age or older, and they don't really have a job, and they're princesses in that sense, where they live a pretty luxurious life from the outside. When I think about it, right, they must have pretty hard lives too, because I mean, if they manage to have found a wife, a husband early on, or a wife, whatever, but and gotten a family and built a family of their own, maybe it's better because they do have, they feel like that is part of their life journey, right? To be a housewife, or to be a good mother. But I've also seen princesses, very pretty, skinny, good-looking girls who are my age or even older, and they're really struggling to find a husband, even though they are gorgeous. Yeah, I think they can get any guy they want, but for some reason they're not married, and they really want to be. And I don't even know how a kid will play out in this situation because they might not have kids, at least biological age wise. I don't think that. Anyways, I don't know because I don't know biology. But my point is, imagine being stuck in a life where yes, you're gorgeous, yes, you're skinny, yes, you're all that. But that's it, right? You're waiting. That's really the life that you're living, which is you're waiting to be rescued. You're waiting to be proposed to. You're waiting and you're praying and you're hoping that hopefully the husband will be kind and will be rich and will be able to keep providing you the lifestyle that you've had of luxurious, luxury bags and Instagrammable lifestyle. And I started to ask myself, do you really want to be a princess? I think what I learned about myself is I like being the hero. I like knowing that I can get a decent job. I like knowing that yes, I might not always hit all my targets, but I damn well try, and most of the time I do. And even if I don't, I come back stronger and I try again. And most of the time, with a few tries, even if I didn't hit the target the first time, I will eventually hit it. And I learned that I'm tough. I've always loved the idea of a cool, strong, feminine energy figure where, it's like she's badass, she's dominating the room, she's charismatic, she just screams power and control and dominance. And I think a few years ago someone told me I was domineering and I hated it. I was like, no, I'm not. And I was like, I just didn't like that term for some reason. And now that I'm learning to know myself better and figuring out myself a little better, I think I love it. I think that's true. I think it's very true. I'm very domineering, especially at work, especially when, I know what I want. I know how I want to do it, or at least most of the time I definitely have a plan and I know, and I get it. I think that's how someone kind of described me as, which is she knows what she wants, she knows what she knows how she wants to do it, and she's able to lead a team into doing it. And yeah, but yeah, I mean, just food for thought, right? What if princesses leads really hard life, and what if it's easier to be a hero? No waiting, everything in your control. Yes, more responsibility. Yes, more burden. But I would think it's an easier life. Anyways, I look so bloated for some reason. I think it's because of the bakwa. Another thing that I learned these few days is that temptations or addictions, whatever you call this, the more you give into it, the more it wrecks your life. It sounds so simple. What I learned is, I think temptations, addictions, cravings, I don't know what else you want to call this, right? But that moment of intense pull towards something, to do something that might not be good for you or might take you off from your diet or whatever, it's not easy. It's damn hard. It's damn hard. But what I learned recently is that if I give into it, which I still do, it's harder to get back up. And those cravings sometimes gets worse. I know a lot of professionals say that it's about reducing the number of times you indulge in those cravings, or I don't really get it. I mean, in the past I would just go like avoid it completely, and then recently a lot of YouTubers and a lot of things that I read say that it's actually not good to categorize food bad and good, and it's just, you know, giving into your temptations but not overdoing it. That's supposed to be healthier. But what I find about myself is that yesterday I ate a bakwa, and this morning I ate 2 croissants. For these past 2 days, those were the only times I cheated. And it's making my cravings a lot worse. Like, it's crazy. Like, I cheated a little, but it makes me, it increases my level of temptation. I don't know if there's a scientific thing behind this, but I mean, if I have time, or if I'm not lazy, I'll go search it. But what if, just like dieting, in life, what if that's also applicable? What if when we give in to simple comforts, or we give in to what we think is harmless temptations, it screws up the other more important things? Like, and it makes it harder for us to do those things. I don't know if I'm making sense. I am so sore. I am so tired that my brain's in a mess. But anyways, just food for thought. I should also definitely work on better public speaking and sounding more confident, because, you know, I've seen on LinkedIn a few people who can do it really well, like speak like a CEO, command presence. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Starting tomorrow, because I'm sleepy and I want to shower, then I want to sleep. All right, bye.